One, two, three. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Allow us to apologize for some technical difficulties with our audio. Chris Lynch and Jim Cerny on the call with you here tonight for what is already a 2-0 hockey game in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks over the Binghamton Black Bears.
Well, Chris, kind of a rushed way to get into this game. We're 4:12 in, but speaking about rushing into the game, Luke Richards opened the scoring at 1:02. His fourth goal of the season from Dustin Jesso. And then at 1:37, Jesso, his fifth, ripped a shot past Owen Liskowitz, Evan Lugo, and Brendan Sheehan in his pro debut with the assists. So 2-0 Danbury in the early going.
Already a wonderful start offensively for the Hat-Tricks. This comes after a blistering fight, and oh no, Binghamton has a player down in the corner, and they are going to blow the whistle and stop that dead.
And that's Austin Thompson, who is off to a phenomenal start. Tied for the league lead in goals with 5 in the first 4 games, leading the FPHL in points with 9 to start the season. He took a hit there, went down in the corner. He is being helped off the ice, and he is not putting any weight on his left leg as he's coming off the ice.
And that's not even the result of a penalty or anything like that, or a dirty play or anything like that. That's just an unfortunate. He caught an edge, and he tumbled. That's a hard hit. That's a bad loss. He is walking straight off the bench. He'll be going directly to the locker room. That's tough. That's really tough. So 5:19 left to go here in the first period. Already 2 goals for the Danbury Hat-Tricks.
And Sheehan also assisted on Richards' game-opening goal. So not bad. Your first shift, your first professional shift in your pro debut, you pick up 2 assists.
That's a pretty nice way to open up your professional career in Danbury. Binghamton looking to apply some response and get something back. Wilson will send this around the left side. This is batted to the circle, turn, shoots, save made by Wilson. And Danbury will get this out of play. Pass a little bit too far for Ruiz. Leonard not there for it either. Just runs in, nearly with the hit. He's going to hop off. Bonnell's still out there. He'll be completing that line change right about now. Yao retreating, looking for a place to go forward with it. Leonard still out there. Carrying it on. Yao, circle, turning. Looks to center it. Shot off the wrong part of Steven Leonard's stick. Drop pass. Yao turns, slaps at it. Doesn't go anywhere. Yao still with it. Retreats, looks for somewhere to go. Shoots, save made in net by Liskowitz. And Binghamton will get this one out into the attacking end. Tyson Kirkby had some speed, got worked off the puck. Nice hit by Brendan Dowler, the big man defender from Marbledale, Connecticut. Crossing and gaining to the circle, winds up shot and blocked into the protective netting overhead. And we'll get a face-off in the Binghamton end.
And we see Daniel Ainsbury and Jake Schultz heading to their respective benches out of the penalty box. Of course, they dropped the mitts on the opening face-off just 5 seconds in. And again, as we catch our breath and we catch you up to date on everything you missed, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We've got them fixed. Thank goodness we have Calvin here to handle that. And we're back on YouTube, and we've got the rest of the game for you.
Already a fast start for the hometown Hat-Tricks. Those new uniforms look fantastic. Look very good in action, as we're going to get a little bit confused as to the stoppage and play if they're deliberating about where the puck should be.
Unless they're calling for a media timeout. But that would be a bit early.
That would be a bit early to take immediate timeout in this circumstance.
So let's get the fans caught up on what's going on here. We mentioned Danbury off to the races. Richards and Jesso, who had the huge games last weekend, each with 6 points in the 12-5 win against Delaware here at Danbury Arena last Saturday. They both come out flying again tonight. Jesso with a goal and an assist already. Richards with the goal. And Brendan Sheehan playing his first professional game. He picks up 2 assists. We had the fight with Amesbury and Schultz 5 seconds in. Our goalies tonight are Owen Liskowitz for Binghamton, who has looked shaky on the first few shots that have come his way. And in goal to our left is Brian Wilson, making his season debut after going 11-5 as a rookie with the hat tricks last season.
Puck is down. Binghamton wins the draw. Down to the opposite corner, racing in to go and get it is Brendan Sheehan, already figuring into the scoring very, very quickly. Pivots and looks, draw pass from Richards into no man's land. Retreating and getting it is Jesse Anderson. Hanover, Massachusetts native. Puck comes out to neutral, settled on the line, and pitchfork deep into Binghamton territory off the already peeling Coca-Cola sign. And on come the Black Bears. Turnover forced. Hand pass here. The official will blow the whistle to kill that play. Mathieu Boilard reached up for it and knocked it down. A pretty clear and obvious hand pass.
Yeah, and Binghamton forward Michael Marchison, who is playing his first game with the Black Bears tonight, made sure that whistle was blown, and he took another 2 strides or so to deliver a check after the whistle. He got away with it. The referees are going to have to watch that stuff. You don't want anything to get out of hand here.
Already a physical game, already with people who have some hard feelings for last season's ending to the postseason, so you can be assured that there is still some hurt feelings over Binghamton's season ending in this building last year.
Yeah, and this is a good rivalry anyway. We saw it last season. These teams played some really, really good games, and they're very evenly matched, or they were a year ago.
Puck skitters across the circle. Binghamton looking to create a 3-on-2. Yates turns, passes this one to the top shot, backhanded wide. Nice attempt by Kirkby. Couldn't quite get it on net. Settled down by the hat tricks. McDonald will flip this one out, and that hit. It must have hit the I-beam or must have found someplace out of bounds, so the puck is blown dead, and we're going to stay in the Danbury defensive end of the rink.
Yeah, you mentioned Kirkby. He's a guy who was real good in the playoffs last year for Binghamton. He had 3 goals, 5 points in the 3 games in that series against Danbury, and he scored twice on the power play. This is a team you do not want to send out on the power play. They are lethal with the man advantage.
It's a very good thing that Danbury got to the early lead as Ruiz gained, shoots, save made. Good attack. Nice feed from Leonard to gain the attacking line. Settled behind the net. Treating and looking for someplace to go with it was Jacob Walters. Loose puck, shot, save made. Good attempt by Brendan Dowler. Has 2 assists on the season. Both came in the second game against Delaware. Shot tipped in front by Ruiz. Not there. But now having to fish it out of the corner and do some of the dirty work. Ruiz with the shot, save made, and covered up in net by Liskowitz.
What a really good-looking shift there by the hat tricks. Their top line, Johnny Ruiz, Gordy Bennell, Steve Leonard, all in on it there. And they came away with 3-4, not only shots on goal, but good quality shots against Owen Liskowitz on that shift. It started with Ruiz coming over the blue line and about 35, 40 feet out, getting a good shot through a screen that was sticked away, and then multiple opportunities came off that.
Puck is down. Binghamton has won 2 consecutive faceoffs. Puck knuckles on Andrew Whalen. 4 players engaged in the corner board battle. Danbury comes away with it. Up top, shot, score! Richards! That is it. And the other choose. Oh. Tricks.
I mean, this is just a stunning start to this game. But what about the start to the professional career by Luke Richards? I had the opportunity to chat with him and his sister Gabby this week and write a story for the team's website about all that he's overcome just to get to this point. And, he missed almost all the training camp. He almost didn't make the roster, didn't make the team. he had pneumonia and he had the flu and he had an ear infection. He had all these things going on at once. And Richards did make up the opening night lineup and roster. And look what he's done since, making the most of that opportunity. It's a fantastic story early in the season for Danbury.
You need players like that to show up and be real contributors early who you don't expect if you are to do anything. It is 3-0 before the halfway point of the first period. Not game, first period. Justin Gesso getting an assist on this one as well. What a great start to the season for him. Shot on attempted by Gesso because, well, why stop the fun? Treating back into their own end of the rink. In neutral ice, Gesso gets on top of it. Works it onto the blue line, McDonald. Drop pass. MLA on. He'll put it up to the blue line across. Shot off the heel of Jared Yau's stick and out to neutral for Binghamton. Wilson just waiting for more pressure. Binghamton may be able to create something here. Bounces up on Yates, and they won't be able to do much with it. Yao to neutral, off the boards. This is no icing. Shot off the side of the cage by Evan Lugo. Threw a little bit too far for Pamela on the flying Hawaiian. High check thrown. Dowler separates his man from the puck. Wants to put it up top. Shot. Save made by Liskowitz. And cleared out to Danbury territory, but not enough steam to turn into an icing.
Now, hard hit by Brendan Dowler, who's a big guy, and he made sure to put a shoulder into Nikita Ivashkin, who is an extremely talented player for Binghamton. Guy that scored or had 98 points as a rookie last year. However, he does not like the physical game. And the hat-tricks are going to make sure to put the body on him tonight.
This building and franchise and all the franchises who have ever played here have kind of a reputation that's well earned for being relentless on the puck and being willing to do whatever they need to in order to win. Ruiz. Drop pass to the circle. Leonard wants it out in front through Liskowitz. And now we got to fight away from the puck at center ice and a takedown.
Well, it's Ivashkin. Ivashkin clearly did not like that hit by Dowler. And is it Dowler that he was going with? Let's see.
No, it's Yao.
It's Jared Yao. But Ivashkin wanted a piece of somebody. He's a big guy, but like I said, he doesn't like the physical game. But to his credit, he was angry about it. He stood up for himself. He didn't get the guy that checked him. He got Jared Yao instead. But you got to give a stick tap there to Ivashkin standing up for himself.
He'd been taking an awful lot of hits, an awful lot of abuse. The native of Ramonskoye, Russia, drops mitts. Jared Yao, the Richmond, British Columbia native. A wonderful ability to drop the mitts and give credit to him. He was willing to go as well. He was willing to back up the physical play that the rest of the team was leading for him.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I really thought Danbury did a fantastic job putting a body on Ivashkin in the playoffs last season. You know, a 98-point guy was neutralized over those 3 games in which Danbury eliminated the Black Bears. And they did it with real physical play. So here, you continue rolling that. You want to be physical with Ivashkin, but again, I give him credit. He got back up, he got back into the play, and then he was angry and he found somebody to dance with. Credit to him for bouncing back and just not shying away from the physical stuff after he took the hard hit.
9:23 left to go here in the opening frame of the game. Hat-tricks win the draw. They'll put it up to the point. No power plays on this one. Just the 5 minutes of fighting. Binghamton believes they should have gotten a call there. They don't get that whistle. Up top, shot, blocker to side. I set up an attempt for Kodiak White Duck. Forward, spring. Here comes the Black Bears. Grift on the shot. Jesse Anderson came right downhill. Beat the Danbury defense and failed to connect on the shot attempts.
Yeah, Jesse Anderson has 5 goals in the first 4 games. So you know he's a goal scorer, and he had a breakaway, not a clean breakaway, but he had a breakaway there, getting a little hook from behind, and then he just fanned on the shot. He probably lifted his head and just fanned on the shot.
8:45 the time remaining. We're going to get a media timeout. We'll take it as well and come back in just a moment from the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel.
For a comfortable stay with great amenities, the only choice is La Quinta by Wyndham right here in Danbury. Ask for the Hat-Tricks friends and family rate. You can't beat it. La Quinta in Danbury.
8:45 the time remaining here in the opening frame. Chris Lynch and Jim Cerny on the call for you here this evening. What's been an entertaining night if you are a Danbury Hat-Tricks fan. Flipped up to the left side. Binghamton. Got the pass through and back into neutral territory. Wilson will settle it down. McDonald to the circle. Band on it. Punched into the boards. Richards there for it. Drop pass and running forward with it is Gesso. To the right side of the circle. Drop pass, shot, save made. A nifty attack by Kyle Gonzalez. Now put this down, wanted it across. They'll try it again on the opposite side from McDonald. Not there. Wide to the left. Gesso takes it right to the goal mouth. Shot, save made. And sprawling to cover it up is Liskowitz.
Unbelievable. Richards almost had a hat trick in the first 12 minutes of the game. Wide open that time. And Liskowitz somehow is able to dive to his right and deny Luke Richards, who is absolutely on fire, as is Dustin Gesso. And now they add Brendan Sheehan to the line, and he's on fire too. Great scoring opportunity for him set up by Gonzalez. And that was a terrific save by Liskowitz as well, who started shaky and has just had his best sequence of the game so far.
Binghamton looking to try and generate some offense. They've generated next to nothing. Here they go to the circle. Out in front. Save made by Wilson. Nice attempt to put the puck on the stick of Jesse Anderson, who missed on a breakaway earlier in this period. Got to play here. Puts it up to the point. Winds up shot. Blocked before it ever gets on net. Shot by Walters. Out ahead. Ruiz tried to get it to his backhand and couldn't quite connect. Back there for it and sitting on the logo. Ruiz will try it again. Winds up, slaps at it, and puts it into the protective netting over the Binghamton cage.
Yeah, Johnny's got the wheels moving tonight, right? He, breakaway there, and it looked like from behind, a little hook or a stick that got up underneath his stick, so he didn't get the shot off that he wanted. But he's flying. He told me before the game that he feels great tonight.
3 points so far on the young season. 2 goals. He got both of them in the second game against the Thunder last weekend. Tip down to the circle. Still in pursuit. Binghamton will pick it. Spins off and retreats does Ricky Regala, the Dallas, Texas native. Binghamton's jerseys do look a bit like the Dallas Stars uniforms.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
Pitchforked in. Tristan Mock absorbs a hit. Binghamton can't get it out. Winds up shot from the point. Save made. Rebound out in front. Pamaleon got on top of it. McDonald had that shot. McDonald receives it at the circle, winds up, puts it on net, and fluttered to the opposite side of the attacking end. Pamaleon with it. Wants to put this puck to the slot. McDonald with the keep shot, looking for the tip. Loose puck, and scores it. Nothing. That's the goal. Who finishes it all? For nothing.
I mean, the hat tricks have been absolutely relentless in this opening period. You know, third straight game that they got an early goal. Third straight game that it was either Gesso or one of Jesso's line mates getting that opening goal. But they've really built on it since then. And boy, this is just a terrific start. Lugo goes to the dirty area to cash in a rebound and give the hat tricks a 4-0 lead.
They're getting contributions from everywhere. That's the third line pitching and pinching, looking for the cut around. Out in front, Danbury is flying offensively.
Absolutely.
Bounces in front and covered up by Liskowitz. That's the smart move. Just blow the play dead if you don't feel that comfortable with it.
I mean, they're really, really scrambling right now. And, you know, the hat tricks are just keeping the pressure on, which is what you need to do. You got a team, even a good team like this, you got them on the ropes. You got to keep pounding away at them. And boy, this is an impressive first period for Danbury. I don't know if this is official, but what we see on the scoreboard says 15 shots, Danbury 1, Binghamton.
That's crazy. I'm not sure if it is that lopsided, but it's not that far from it.
And now they're going to the power play.
Hooking minor. That's the first power play opportunity that either of these teams have had. Tyler Jurich goes off and will sit down, slams the door in frustration.
Yeah, Gonzalez just was wheeling out of his own end, coming around his net to carry the puck up ice. And Jurich, that's just a terrible penalty. I mean, he can't do that deep in the offensive zone. He just reached out because Gonzalez was blowing past him, just reached out with his stick and got it caught up into the sweater of Gonzalez. I mean, that's an obvious call, and now Danbury goes to the power play.
Bonnell wins the draw up to the left side. To the circle, shot flutters away. Ruiz retrieves. Whistle sounds. Did the net come off its moorings? Yes, I'm a little bit confused. Yes, the net did come off its moorings. Okay.
So good job by the referee. You got to blow the play dead, and so the face-off again is in Binghamton's end.
Puck down, another win for Gordy Bonnell on the power play. And that's one guy, by the way, who doesn't have a point, only has one assist in the first game. Gordy Bonnell taken down, and they just have to retreat and regroup in neutral territory. Sheehan will regain. This was a delayed penalty. The officials got his hands up, and so they'll give it to him. Ruiz just gives the puck to a Binghamton player in front of him. We're going to get another Binghamton penalty. There's 3 guys sitting in the box as the Black Bears are going to call for time, and not incorrectly, by the way. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take it as well. Let's ask in just a second from the Danbury Ice Arena.
Reverie Brewing Company is now a featured beverage right here in the Danbury Ice Arena. Grab a Reverie and don't quit your daydream. When you drink Reverie, anything is possible, and the Hat Tricks have a chance to really blow the doors off this one early. They have a minute 20 worth of a 5-on-3 coming up here, Chris.
Jesse Anderson is sitting in the box. There are 3 Black Bears sitting in the penalty box right now.
But a big face-off win by Binghamton to at least get the puck out of their end.
Ye oldie times. I'm told it was a popular pastime to play to see how many people you could jam into a telephone booth just for funsies. Binghamton is taking up their own edition of that one with seeing how many players they can put into the box.
Yeah, you got Iboshkin in there for the fighting, Jurich for the hook, and now Anderson for the hold.
McDonald slaloms forward, carries onto the circle, looking for somewhere to go with it. Ruiz opposite Leonard. Ruiz wanted to wind up and blast it. Up top, looking, didn't quite have it. They'll put it down to the goal line extended. Looks, circle, shot. Pings off and out of play. Not a bad attempt, just kind of an odd bounce. Finds its way out of bounds. I'm not even really sure how that found its way.
Yeah. Well, it was weird. That almost deflected into the net. It was a centering feed, and it went off Tyson Kirkby, who was there on the back check. And it went up, and at first I thought, oh my gosh, is this going to deflect into his own net? But it ended up going over the glass.
Leonard up to Ruiz. 20 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Swap spots. Ruiz wanted to fire it. Steps in. And now we'll put it up top. Plays to the left side. Looks. Across through Gordy Bonnell. 5 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Binghamton's maybe going to kill this off. Ruiz with a hammer shot. Why? That's tipped into the seats, into the 200 section. A fan actually caught it cleanly. We've got 3:23 left to go here in the period and 35 seconds left on an extended Danbury power play chance.
What a great play there by Tyson Kirkby. Here you're down 4-0. He's not hanging his head. He's going out. He's launching himself in front of that pass to make sure that it's not connected, and he is able to deflect it into the crowd. Great play.
Richards looking for it in the slot. Going to put this one up top. Yao, right side. Gesso. 20 seconds left on the power play. A very good kill for Delaware. Shot saved by Liskowitz.
Yeah, Jared Yao getting that one on net, as he's prone to do, as we've seen in the first couple games. That's been an effective tool for the Hat Tricks offensively.
Probably felt a little bit more secure about your forward group coming into the season, but the way that Yao and Whalen have performed
and Dowler.
And Dowler as well, and getting Gonzalez on the blue line.
And then getting McDonald's.
Yep.
Adding those two guys. It's coming together.
Poked out to neutral territory by Brett Parker. This is going to kill off the extended power play chance, and the Hat Tricks, as they were in their first outing against Delaware, where are held off the power play scoring, but still 4 goals. Time winding down. Wilson receives and covers up the shot. And some jostling and pushing and shoving afterwards because, well, of course.
Yes, well, of course. Well, Danbury up 4-0 here. Let's recap the last 2 goals. We didn't get you the assists and all that. At 8:24, Richard scored his 2nd of the game, 5th of the season. Gesso with the assist, Jesso's 3rd point of the night. And then at 13:29, Evan Lugo with his 2nd of the season, an even strength goal from Pamelayan and McDonald.
Mac Lewis to take the draw against Lugo. Lewis wins it, shot blocked. Good blocking effort by Brendan Sheehan. Shot sits on the apron. Patrick's looking to get this one out. Whalen absorbed some punishment, left it too far for Lugo. Sheehan runs down and gets this one. The attempt from the left side goes a little bit wide from Ricky Regala. Kodiak White Duck back to get this one. Had a goal his last time out. 2 minutes left to go here in the opening frame for what has been a dominant performance by the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Chris Lynch, Jim Cerny on the call for you with the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Third game out of 4 here at home to start the season. Here comes Leonard. Tries to funnel it forward, still with it. Lugo cuts it, shoots it, save made. Nice rebound opportunity for Tristan Mock, and turned aside. Leonard pinches. Binghamton's going to try and clear this one out to the opposite end for Boilar. Knocked down by Ruiz. That was an onside play. Couldn't quite control it. Bunnell knocks it down in neutral territory. Tries to spring his man, and Wilson's out to play it. Tyson Kirkby cheating a little bit. The puck ran a bit away from him. Leonard. Cross, no room. Last minute to go here in the opening frame. Kirkby tries to dip around Kyle Gonzalez. Such a responsible defenseman. This will be icing. 58.8 seconds left here in the opening frame.
Yeah, good to see Kyle Gonzalez back here in Danbury. He was briefly a member of the Hat-Tricks inaugural season team back in 2019-20. Played in 10 games, had 6 points before he moved up to the SPHL. Played with Roanoke and Birmingham the last couple seasons in the SPHL. Now we get a timeout called by Billy McCreary. Up 4-0. 50 seconds to go in the period.
I'm confused by this.
It could be, those guys were out there for a long shift. Maybe he's just trying to give them a blow here. And yeah, there's no instruction coming from Billy McCreary. He's just giving those guys a blow.
Let's recap the way that this game has gone so far. Danbury with a fight in the first 5 seconds of the game, and then a goal almost immediately after, and a continued wonderful performance.
Yep.
Luke Richards and Justin Jesso.
Yes, absolutely. And it really, it's been the entire team. And it's interesting. They were so good at even strength, taking it to to Binghamton. And when they got the power play, all of a sudden their aggressiveness seemed to dissipate. They were looking for the perfect play instead of just being aggressive and making a play.
Shot blocked aside. Bunnell tries to spring Leonard, who gets to the blue line. Final 40 seconds to go in the opening frame. Yates carries through, dropped it. Leonard gets to it. Tries to swap spots with an on-charging Johnny McDonald. Binghamton out to neutral. Yates to the circle, worked off his stick. Leonard there for it. All 3 players on the top line. Bunnell, Ruiz, and Leonard with letters. Bunnell and Leonard with A's. Ruiz with the C. We've got 13.8 seconds left to go here in the opener.
Yep, and that's an icing call against the Hat-Tricks. They're probably not going to be happy about that call because I think it was Schultz tried to swing and miss at the puck as it went by him. You would think that would negate the icing, but it did not.
No, if it doesn't connect, then I don't think it counts. So if you don't make contact with it, right? To the circle, looking shot, blocked aside, and that is that. A magnificent opening period for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. 4-0 on the first place team in the Empire Division.
Yeah, absolutely. Great start for Danbury. And just finishing the thought, the referee or the linesman can negate the icing if he thinks that the other team could play it. So that was my point. He didn't touch it, and obviously if he did, that would have negated it. But it's the fact that he was in position to make a play on it. But that's neither here nor there. A dominant first period for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Richards with a pair of goals. Jesso a goal and 3 points. Also, Sheehan gets a couple assists in there. And very little action for Brian Wilson, which means that Danbury not only was getting the job done offensively, that means they were doing the job defensively too. And I bet you anything, Billy McCreary is maybe most happy about how they shut down Binghamton's young guns.
They had 2 periods in the opening series against Delaware where they hung 5 goals in a period. They hung 4 on them in this period. This was their best period of the young season at this point.
Oh, absolutely. And their best complete period. Yes, the offense, absolutely, no question. Great start, the 4 goals in the first period. But again, it's their all-around game that I'm very, very impressed with. And they got to do it. They got to keep doing it, though. You can't have a lull now.
That's right.
Because Binghamton's a quick strike team with a lot of offensive firepower. So 1 goal could become 3 in a heartbeat when you play a team like that. So you want to keep them as clamped down as possible. And certainly Danbury did that in the first period.
A goal and 2 assists for Dustin Gesso, 2 goals for Luke Richards, Evan Lugo with a goal and an assist, and Brendan Sheehan with 2 assists. That unit, tremendous performance, and specifically the pair of Gesso and Richards. What a revelation those 2 have been.
Yeah, and very interesting because when I talked with Luke this week, he talked about getting the opportunity to play with a veteran like Gesso, who is just, playing at a surreal level right now to start the season. But he also wove in Tobias Ojic, who was on that line on Saturday, and who had played with Gesso on Friday as well.
And, of course, is not playing in this game tonight.
Well, that was going to be my point. He's building up, hey, don't forget Tobias. He was a big part of this, too. He had 4 points, 3 assists on Saturday. And so deep are the hat tricks, up front that Tobias Ojic is sitting upstairs watching the game tonight. He's not in the lineup. And they slide Sheehan in, making his pro debut, and boom, boom, 2 assists. The engine just keeps on motoring along here for the hat tricks in the early portion of the season.
And in some ways, that's probably the best thing that could happen for Tobias Ojic, because he's going to have to go back to practice. And in some ways, he's going to have to earn more playing time and earn his roster spot with Sheehan performing the way he is.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's only 20 minutes. That's right. The kid's first game.
Yeah.
But that said, you look at the lineup and you say, okay, well, Ojic's not in today. You would think he'd probably be in tomorrow. Well, can you take Sheehan out? Well, who comes out then? Is it Tristan Mock? Is it Lugo? Well, Lugo, now is 2 points tonight. He's got 2 goals in the last 2 games. That's great competition to feed off of. And it's good to see the scoring coming from up and down the lineup because it's a long season.
Yeah.
Guys are going to get hurt. Guys are going to get worn down. A lot of these young players have never gone through the grind of a pro season, the travel, the bus rides. It's tough. It's tough, Chris. But bank your points at home.
Yep.
I'm a huge believer in this league about that. If you're a dominant home team, you're going to end up being a playoff team. Even if you're just 500 or even under 500 on the road, bank your points at home. Danbury did that last weekend. They're on their way tonight. Obviously, still a lot of hockey to go, 40 minutes to play.
We're going to take a breather and come back in a little bit from the Danbury Ice Arena here on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel. 4-0 at the first intermission. Brief pause, back in a little bit with more FPHL hockey. All right. Good evening and welcome back to the Danbury Ice Arena for the second period between the Hat-Tricks and the Binghamton Black Bears. I'm Chris Lynch alongside Jim Cerny, and Jim, that was the Hat-Tricks' best period of the season. How do they repeat it?
Yeah, exactly. You want to bottle it, right? And just keep playing that way. Listen, as best as they can, they want to keep that pressure on Binghamton. I mean, Danbury, for the most part, they own the puck. And listen, they've done that for the first 7 periods of this season, right? But doing against Delaware, who's, pretty much an overmatched opponent, is one thing. To do it against Binghamton, a really good opponent, a team that, almost eliminated Danbury in the playoffs a year ago. That's something else. It's a whole other, ball of wax. So, can they keep it up at the rate that they're playing with? We'll see. But I expect pushback from Binghamton here. I think with the type firepower that they have, they don't see this as a lost cause.
No.
And you see, they believe that they're still in this game because they've gone to Joe Shepard here to start the second period in goal. So Liskovitz is out, it's hard to fault him on those goals. I mean, Danbury just came out blitzing, but Binghamton feels that they can still win this game, that they can come back. So we're going to bring Shepard in here and see if he can spark them, give them maybe a little bit better goaltending. We'll see. Let's see what happens here, especially in the early going. I'd love to see Danbury just continue the assault. If you can't always guarantee goals, but you want to do things the right way. The good things that you've been doing, you want to continue doing them. Get in on the forecheck, pump shots on goal, get to rebounds, all the things that they did well in the first period, and skate. Boy, did they skate well in that first period.
Shepard played 17 games last season for Binghamton. He's played 4 already, was on loan briefly with Vermilion in the SPHL last year. The puck is dropped. We're underway, and Binghamton has just as much as Danbury played their absolute best period of the season, as we're going to get a dead puck here very quickly. It's pretty inarguable that Binghamton played one of their worst periods of the season, as we're getting a hooking minor. It's going against the Hat-Tricks. It's going against Gordy Bunnell.
Yeah, and then that's what you didn't want, right? We were just talking about you want to continue doing all the things that you've been doing well in the first period, carrying over to the second period. Well, what's the one thing you could do that would negate that and give momentum to the other team?
Exactly.
Take a penalty 17 seconds into the period.
That's a tough one to take. That's one that you want to stay as far away from as possible. But here we are, 2 minutes up on the clock for the Binghamton Black Bears to try and get their way back into this game.
Binghamton converting on the power play at 24%. Here's a note to look out for. They've allowed 4 shorthanded goals already this season.
Here's a breakaway for Ruiz. Shot save made by Shepard. Holy cow. I thought it was Binghamton on the power play.
Boy, Johnny was shot out of a cannon there.
You need those sorts of opportunities to go your way. Man down. People enjoying the physicality as the puck will sit.
Great hit by Johnny McDonald.
Unbelievable hit by McDonald. Across through, Leonard turns it over. He's waiting for the opportunity, the perfect chance to clear it, and unable to do so. Binghamton right at the blue line across. Top side, steps in, Yates shoots it wide to the left, and that'll find its way into empty territory with Cam Yarwood in pursuit.
And a good stick there by Kyle Gonzalez. Cross-ice pass, seam pass on the rush by Binghamton in the Danbury zone. And the veteran Kyle Gonzalez gets his stick in the way, deflects it up into the crowd. So, you're a minute 10 into this power play, and the Hat-Tricks have yet to allow a shot. Some good work so far.
I ran into and talked to assistant coach John Krapinski in the intermission. He was beaming with just how well they had played, and the one thing he said to me was, don't give Binghamton an opportunity. And even with this power play, as they hurl it down to the opposite end of the rink, this has been a wonderful defensive effort for the Danbury Hat-Tricks this evening.
Again, to this point, still a lot of hockey to go.
Binghamton gains the line, poked away. That's a nice check by Yao to clear it, knocked down by Sheehan. 12 seconds left to go on the Binghamton power play. The penalty taken by Gordy Bonnell, who will be flying out of the box and jumping back into the play. Whipped out, kept in. That's a very good keep by Jake Schultz. Shot save made by Wilson. Another chance at the goal line extended. They'll put it up to the point. Takes a bad bounce off the boards away from Schultz. The Hat-Tricks killed off the power play with Binghamton really not getting that much on it and immediately icing the puck afterwards.
Let me tell you what I love, what created that icing there by Schultz, is that Tristan Mock came off the bench on a line change, and he sprinted as fast as he could to challenge Schultz. He didn't just come out into the neutral zone and let Schultz, come get it, bring the puck up ice or pass it out. No, Mock came right at him, directly at him, and forced that icing as Schultz panicked and sent it down the ice.
Mock backhands it on net. A couple of saves made in net by Shepard. Up to the point, down to the left side. Eats up the stick of White Duck. Here they come to the circle. One pass too many. They tried to put it back on Ivashkin's stick. You just have to fire that away.
3-on-1. They don't get a shot on goal.
That's a big old bucket of yikes for the Binghamton Black Bears that the offense is just not working tonight. Turning to the circle, gathered by Whalen. Sent not quite out. Wanted to get to Pamelayan. Didn't quite have it on him. Behind the apron, tries the wraparound shot. Save made by Wilson. He hasn't faced that much pressure, but the couple of shots he's faced, Wilson, he looks like he did last season. Looks pretty good. Possibly more pressure here. Gains Abbott. Turns shot. Save made. Swallowed. And killed off by Brian Wilson.
Yeah, but you see, Binghamton's coming here,
Oh, we got the fisticuffs here. Abbott tied up with Pamelayan, and they go to the deck.
Pamelayan, one of the smallest guys in uniform for the Hat-Tricks tonight.
Wow.
And yeah, they went at it.
Those guys entirely unafraid of being able to put themselves out there. Wow. And Pamelayan still jawing at Abbott, a hometown guy. He's from Binghamton, New York. Still jawing at him, a much, much bigger individual, and that's really something. The fact that he's willing to put it out there, and that's the kind of culture that Danbury has. They get guys who want to be here and want to be Danbury Hat-Tricks.
Yeah, and it's not always about fighting. Sometimes that does happen.
They certainly don't run from it.
Right, that's exactly it. You don't run from it. You initiate physical play. That's the culture, on-ice culture that Billy McCreary wants to see.
Yep.
So I don't think he wants to see Zach Pamelayan getting into a lot of fights this season. But you know what? Third pro game, you're not a big guy. Something happened that you didn't like, and boom, he dropped the gloves without hesitation. I'm sure Billy and the entire bench, the entire lineup and roster, loving that from Zach Pamelayan.
That's the third fight of the evening. Hat-Tricks looking for more goals. Nothing yet so far in the frame. Underneath Bonnell, he has been snake bit. I have to imagine that part of the mission here as Ruiz jumps this to the slot. Shot, save made, loose puck, just wide of the crease, up to the point, whiffed on it, did Johnny McDonald. I have to imagine that one of the top goals for the Hat-Tricks at this point, get Gordy Bonnell a goal.
Yeah.
Benell tries to run this forward. Puck squirted away from him a little bit. Schultz gives on forward. Yates poked off his stick. Loose puck. Benell out there with Richards. Richards regains. Cuts it. Richards kicks it. Jesso works around. Jesso, circle. Unbelievable. Steven Litzard makes it 5 to this Herod, Jesso, Richards, and Litzard jumping in on the front. Everybody is having in city.
I got to tell you, that play, and I know Leonard catches in the goal there, but he had a wide open net because Dustin Jesso undressed multiple Binghamton Black Bear players there, including the 2 defensemen, and he just absolutely deked Joe Shepard out of position before dishing the puck over to Leonard for the wide open net.
Wow.
Play by Dustin Jesso.
That's one of the plays of the season.
Oh, what a pretty play.
And look they're not done yet. They're going to keep up on the attack. Richards will just dump this to Sheehan. And that was a broken line in some ways. It was Leonard out there in Sheehan's place. He just didn't have the opportunity to get out there at the time. Jesso will cut it, tries to put it down towards the slot. Sheehan there for it, to the circle. Across, not there. There was a check kept in at the blue line. Great hustle by Luke Richards. Up to the point. Blasted off the end blast by Jared Yao. Squirts to the circle. Tumbles down. And Binghamton tries to deep around. Coming on down is Anderson. Turns. Denied the opportunity for a shot. Glove hand by Ricky Regala. Up and a couple of good checks thrown. Puck sits behind the net. Out to the goal line extended. Not there. To the circle and out. Settled and eats up the awaiting stick of Boilard. Pursuing it was Jesso. Binghamton got to there first. Lugo off the bench in pursuit. Out to neutral territory. Taken away and carried on by Gonzalez. Mock with him. Gonzalez spins. Loses possession. Running on down and tumbling was Ivashkin. This is going to be a penalty against the Hat-Tricks. We'll get immediate time out. We'll hop back in just a second and come back. 5-0 here at the Danbury Ice Arena. Chris Lynch and Jim Cerny. Don't go too far away from the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Alrighty, we're jumping back into the play. Puck comes all the way down to the opposite end of the rink. Leonard will just retreat. Remember, the Hat-Tricks on the penalty kill. Kyle Gonzalez is sitting for a 2-minute tripping minor. Himalayan still sitting in the sin bin. Already 35 seconds of that power play time burned off. Settled down across the left side of the circle. Shot save made by Wilson and had some help. Couldn't quite get it out. To the circle. Looking. They'll play it up to the left side. Shot from the circle. Save made. Actually, puck just found its way wide. 1:05 left. Binghamton starting to look like a real offensive mover. Whacked out to neutral ice by Johnny Ruiz. First half of the power play killed off. Yarwood will just sit behind his own end. Wait and receive it back on the tap from Ivashkin. Poked away and cleared again, this time by Brendan Dowler.
Should point out that Joe Austin Thompson is back on the ice.
Good.
For Binghamton. He went down hard, missed much of the first period with an apparent injury, but he is back out on the ice.
That's a meaningful return to the ice. Leading scorer at the start of this evening in the FPHL. Wonderful performance. 9 points in the early going as the shot is on. Save made by Wilson. He hasn't faced that much pressure, but he has been excellent in net when he's needed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Good start to the season for him. Again, we're not even halfway through the game yet, but he's been very, very good. Last year, hat-trick fans will remember his debut, his hat-trick's debut, his first start of the season, a shutout.
Nice.
Maybe it's a yearly thing for Brian Wilson.
Get a shutout to start the season?
Why not?
I am sure that the lovely people assembled here at the Danbury Ice Arena wouldn't mind. Circle shot, save made by Wilson. Follow-up chance, not there. That's a good walk-in attempt by Austin Thompson, a Leamington, Ontario native. Save made right as Gonzalez jumps out of the box. Blocked aside, chipped up, and behind by Dowler. Binghamton's still on the attack, trying to drop it for Brett Parker, too far ahead of him. Sits here, whacked at. They'll ring this one around the left side. Takes a fortunate bounce. Ends up being a fortunate bounce for Danbury. Hat-tricks think that should have been a tripping minor as Dowler tumbled to the ice. Fans aren't going to get the call, even though they want it. Nice check thrown to separate Brett Parker from the puck. 3-on-2 developing for Danbury. Cuts it. Lugo. Leonard. Sent hard into the boards. Puck worked off Sheehan. Billy McCreary just throwing his lines in a blender at this point. Oh, a great chance for Jared Yao. Couldn't quite connect on the pass.
Yeah, it was that was just a late change there. Yeah. Now the full line's out.
Shot save made. Good play by Shepard. We got this one up top. And not quite there. Settled in neutral territory by Yao. Ruiz sits on the line. Gains it. Cuts through. Shot wide to the left side. Ruiz turns and looks. Up to the high slot. Bunnell with the shot. And that's into the protective netting. Operation Get Gordy a Goal. Well, they got him a shot. I just want Gordy Bunnell to be happy and score some goal,
I think Gordy's always happy when the team wins and the team's winning.
That's also entirely.
That's what Gordy Bunnell's all about. Johnny Ruiz and I were talking before the season started. What did he call Gordy Bunnell? The heart and soul of the Danbury Hat-tricks.
Puck is down. Won by Jerkic. 10:25 the time remaining here in the second period. 5-0 in favor of the home team Hat-tricks. Out in front. Backhand. Missed the net. Tries to recenter it. Not there. Whacked on. Wilson will cover it. And a very, very fortunate couple of bounces for Danbury that they just find their way on Wilson. As the Fighting Majors, by the way, have come to a conclusion. Assessed to Abbott and Pamelaon.
Yeah, Tyler Jurich, he'll cash in on most of those opportunities. The puck just rolled off the stick, and it's just been that kind of night so far for Binghamton.
10:10 the time remaining. Out in front, backhanded, scores. Well, there goes the shutout. Binghamton kept hacking away. You probably weren't expecting that you were going to hold them 2-0. Gavin Yates finishes that off. Section 200 letting their disapproval be known. It's 5-1 with 10:07 left to go here in the second period.
Yeah, Gavin Yates, he just comes, cruising right through the slot. And he's able to roof the backhander there, his third goal of the season. And Binghamton's on the board, down 5-1 halfway through the game.
We'll wait for the official scoring to make sure we've got all of the assists as we're going to redrop the puck. Officials say that they didn't like something about it, so we're just going to try this again.
Yeah, I think you and I are on the same page. That drives me crazy. What was wrong with it?
Absolutely nothing.
What was different that time?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
This is on net. Loose puck.
Oh, my.
That's nearly a terrible decision. They at least get it out of their own end of the rink, and the puck bounces into the bench. That's such an odd decision as we hit a media timeout. We're going to take a breather, come back in a little bit with the remainder of the second period. 9:50 left to go. Binghamton has just gotten on the board, but Danbury still leads 5-1 here at the Danbury Ice Arena.
Back here at Danbury Arena, Jim Cerny and Chris Lynch, Stony Hill Dental Care, has served as the leader and preferred provider of dental care in Bethel, Connecticut. Go see Dr. K. He'll make you look like $1,000,000 and feel like it too. The official team dentist of your Danbury Hat-Tricks.
A few quick scores around the FPHL. Tied up at zeros between Columbus and Mississippi. Also tied up at zeros between Carolina and Delaware. Elmira trails Watertown 2-0. And Motor City leads Port Huron 4-2. And of course, this game, it is 5-1 in favor of the hometown Hat-Tricks. A busy night with everybody in action across the Fed this evening. Dowler dumps this down, running on Gesso. Another check thrown by Sheehan. Dowler winds up, puts it on net shot. Loose puck covered up. That's a nice play to get it on net and looking for a redirect.
Well, he did get the redirect. That was Richards who got his stick in the high slot on that shot. That actually is a really good save by Joe Shepard.
Yeah. Nice play by Dowler to create that, absorb the punishment, and stay upright. That is a very solid man right there.
He is a big guy. But he's really good at both ends of the ice.
Oh, yeah. He was playing it forward. Ruiz denied the shot, got tied up by Yates. Binghamton to neutral territory, drops it across, interrupted by Leonard. This was an offsides play as everyone resets. Yao poked off his stick. Kirkby runs onto the circle, looks to turn for somewhere to pass this to. Up top, shot, blocker to side. Loose stick is just shunted off to the side of the apron of the goal. Loose puck. Dowler throws a check. This is going to be a penalty against Danbury as Leonard will touch up, and that is that 2-minute minor for boarding going against the Marbledale, Connecticut native.
Well, 3 penalties in this period taken by Danbury, giving 3 power plays to the Binghamton Black Bears, who came in connecting at 24%. Hat-tricks have killed off 2 in the game so far tonight. And they are 8 for 9 on the penalty kill so far this season. That is just under 89%. In other words, pretty darn good so far.
Very, very good so far on the penalty kill this season. And pretty good tonight as they fling this all the way down to the opposite end of the rink. Good start to the penalty kill. Throwing Lugo out there to try and kill a bunch of this off. Show some trust by head coach Billy McCreary that they're willing to put Lugo and Sheehan out there. This is Sheehan's first professional game, and they're trusting him to make an awful lot of plays on the penalty kill situations. Across the left side. Top looking for something is Schultz. Shot save made by Wilson. Loose puck. Shunted off to the side by Whalen. Still working away at it. Puck worked off his stick to the point. Cross to the left circle. Eats up the waiting stick of Austin Thompson and poked out by Lugo. A minute left to go on the Binghamton power play.
You talk about Sheehan. Big guy. 6'3", 201 pounds. A rookie, 24 years old. Comes from Hamline University, where he had 16 points in 26 games a year ago.
Bennell working. This is where hadn't figured into the scoring and only has 1 assist, but man, is he willing to throw his weight around and get some work as the puck is on and covered. That's the right decision by Shepard to just cover that puck with Leonard charging right downhill on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you talk about Gordy, and I mentioned it earlier how Johnny said, Gordy is the heart and soul of this team. He plays a heck of a lot bigger than his actual physical stature. He is one tough guy.
That's exactly correct.
And that's an example of tough. Tough doesn't mean fighting. Tough means being Gordy Bennell, playing much bigger than your size.
Making the right plays and the smart plays, as that's an offsides against Binghamton. 24 seconds left on the power play. The shots listed, not sure if that's the most updated, but it's 29-14. They just added 2 more on for Delaware.
But what that means is it's 11-11 here in the second period.
Yep.
It was 18-3 after the first period. It's 11-11. It's even here in the second, and it's even on the scoreboard as well, 1-1 in the second period.
That's exactly right. Binghamton played one of their very worst periods in the first. Danbury played their very best period in the first.
Right, and as expected, things have kind of settled down, and certainly the 3 power plays have added to that, giving a little momentum to Binghamton.
Well, a couple of just plain old undisciplined penalties, as to their credit, Danbury has killed off those power play chances. 3 for 3 on the kill, as charging out of the box now is Dowler. He's immediately jumping into the play. And they'll clear this out to neutral territory. Pamelaon runs on, flies by, cuts it, backhand, save made by Shepard, and a loose puck, as that one nearly snuck through. What a brilliant handle for Pamelaon as the puck finds its way out of bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, did he show a burst of speed there. Sprinting up left wing and then using his edges to cut to the net. And to Shepard's credit, he stayed with him and made a nice sliding save. But what a great move out of Pamelaon, the rookie who's got 1 goal so far in his first few games with the hat-tricks.
And speaking of playing a little bit bigger, Pamelaon has played physically a bit bigger and has played much less afraid hockey than many others his size might do so in this sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
Puck is down. Tied up, steps through. Drop pass, open man is Yao. Winds up, blasts it. Save made on the blocker. Yao keeps this in. Great effort to keep it. Wants the tip. That's into the glass off the stick of Luke Richards. They'll try it again, and gloved down this time by Shepard.
Yeah, and Luke Richards, again, you're starting to get a little recurring theme here. Last couple of trips down the ice, good redirections in front, where Richards sets up between the circles, shot comes from the point, and he gets a stick on it, One he deflected on goal in the previous trip down the ice. Here, this one was high and wide, but I like it. I like his positioning, and I like that setup.
Another draw won by Richards. Tied up in the corner with Gesso. Not a guy you exactly want to be tied up in a corner with. Turns, looks, backhands it, loose puck. Where is it? It's sitting right underneath Jacob Walters. Still with it. Richards gets on top of this, looks for somewhere to go with it. Turns, shoots, save made, loose puck to the opposite side of the attacking end of the rink. Thompson will get this one out, not any further than the awaiting stick of Kodiak White Duck, which is one of my favorite names to say on this team.
It is a cool name, right?
5:15 the time remaining here in the second period. Goals one apiece here in the frame. 5-1 for the game for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. A much more even second period as the Hat-Tricks turn it over. Sloppy play, drop pass, eats up Thompson. Turning and looking, they wanted to the point for Schultz. He's got more of a shot than what he's been able to show so far tonight. Gathered up by Leonard. Bunnell with him on his left. Receives it. Bunnell loses control of the puck. Schultz knocked down by Ruiz. Slot shot not there. Ruiz really didn't get anything on it.
Yeah, bouncing puck, and he just kind of whiffed on it.
Yeah. That's part of the fun when you're not playing with a ball. You're playing with a literal piece of vulcanized rubber. So we're going to get another media timeout. We'll take it here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. 5-1 in favor of the hometown Hat-Tricks.
Litchfield Distillery is the spirit of hard work. The Bachelors of Litchfield Distillery, in honor of the early farmers of Northwest Connecticut, present to you the locally made Litchfield Distillery bourbon, vodka, and gin. Grab it at the rabbit hole and hoist the barrel with the Hat-Tricks.
Under 5 minutes, the time remaining here in the second period. A much more even affair than was in the first period where the Hat-Tricks ran the show. Danbury gets it out to neutralize Tristan Mock. Charging on downhill, not there for it. Chris Lynch and Jim Cerny joining you this evening. We are so grateful that you are spending some time with us tonight. We appreciate you sticking with us through the technical difficulties we had at the start of the broadcast, as loose puck will find its way out to the opposite side. Pamela Leon looked at it, looking for somewhere to go with this. Sits behind, takes an odd bounce off of that corner. That has been a frequent occurrence throughout the course of the season. That left side corner at the Independence end of the rink. It's Independence Way that's at this end of the Danbury Ice Arena. That corner has been a nightmare at every single level. You saw a couple of bounces sitting in the AHL game.
Yeah. Brian Wilson, very alert there. Just jumped out of his net and pounced on that puck.
Shot save made and immediately into the protective netting. Wilson quick on the save off the draw. It's a good shot for Nikita Ivashkin, the Russian native.
Now, Ivashkin, we mentioned earlier, 56 goals, 98 points as a rookie last season.
Unbelievable performer in the rookie season. And one of the big reasons why the Hat-Tricks had so many problems through the regular season, but they found a way to silence him in the postseason.
Yeah, he put up some games against the Hat-Tricks during the regular season for sure.
Yeah.
But was shut down in the playoffs.
Circle drop pass, backhand through. Great diving effort. Jared Yao continues to prove that he deserves top line top pair minutes. Steps through, Gesso, circle, turns, looks, puts it up top, Dowler, shot, save made. Yao eludes, now looks, wants to center it. Wanted Sheehan, tumbling down was Richards. Binghamton will just curl this on. Chasing after it is Ivashkin. Slot bounces away, shot save made by Wilson on the opposite side of the circle. They want this up to the point. Walks this. 2:25, the time remaining here in the second period. Shots are 35-17 for the game. Remember, they were 18-3 at the end of the first period. That's how badly the Hat Tricks ran the show, as we're going to get a whistle for an icing, and the official is coming over to the Danbury bench. It's icing, so any player you had has to go back out onto the ice.
Yeah, and boy, there, first of all, Dowler, I mean, he's a stride away from the red line, and he didn't fire it in. He figured that he was just softly sending it in, that the puck wouldn't carry as far as it did. Bad break there. But boy, Luke Richards is absolutely exhausted. He was coming off a shift, off a hard back check. And when he got to the bench, he was just so exhausted. He's got to go back out there, all the way back down the other end of the ice, and he wins the face-off anyway.
Puck is dropped, coming up on the final 2 minutes of the second period. Much more evenly placed, frankly, much more plodding pace to the second period than there was in the first. Binghamton has certainly shown up, as the Black Bears will put it back out of their own end of the rink. Bennell in pursuit, cleared up the right side by Walters. Will receive it back on the pass from Regala. Sits on the blue line. Ruiz has to wait. Now can gain. Chips it behind him. Ruiz gets it back, shoots it off the side of the goal. Ruiz absorbs some stick to his hands. Leonard, Bennell. Ruiz will get to this one. Wants it back up top for Leonard. The top line, not the top producing line tonight, but still a potent force once they really get clicking, as Leonard tries to put this one across. They wanted Johnny McDonald diving down. We are getting a blatant penalty as Johnny Ruiz tumbled down, and we're getting some pushing and shoving afterwards.
Yeah, Jacob Walters took the number to the lower back of Johnny Ruiz.
Yeah.
And Johnny folded over and went down hard.
That's really blatant. 1:10 left to go here in the second, and Binghamton takes a markedly undisciplined penalty. That's just a bad time. Like, there's no good time to take a penalty, but that's an especially bad time to take a penalty.
Yeah, and, you know, Ruiz is in quite a bit of discomfort as he heads to the bench here. I mean, he took the lumber right to the lower back.
Yeah.
And the way he folded over and went down so hard, you knew that did not feel good.
This will find its way all the way down to the Hat Trick end of the rink. Yao in pursuit. He'll gather it, sit behind his net, leave it for Pamaleon. Dump behind him. Gonzalez forward. Richards has to retreat. That found its way out. That must have found its way to the Binghamton bench.
Yeah, boy. Johnny's trying to walk it off. He was sitting on the bench. Now he's walking behind the bench. And now he goes to the front of the bench. He's leaning over the boards, but he looks to be in some distress.
Pamaleon in pursuit. 40 seconds left. The top fanned on the puck did Gesso. Still with it, though. Gesso has Richards in the center. Bottled up. Yao. Gesso wants it across the left side for Gonzalez. Not there. Yao dekes a man out. Steps in. Across. Tipped before it gets onto Gesso's stick. 16 seconds left. Gesso still working at it. Puck up to the point. Kept in by Yao. Dives to the circle. 5 seconds left. And they get a shot away. Put it on towards the net. Up front. Winds up, shoots it. Save made with 0.3 of a second left in the frame. That's a good save for Shepard.
Yeah, absolutely. He was squared up to the shooter. Richards had really good clock awareness right there. He knew that when that puck got on his stick, he had to let it go because there wasn't a lot of time left. And had he beaten Shepard there, it would have counted.
They dropped the puck. Wilson actually already went down to the Danbury bench for an extra attacker with 0.3 of a second left. That's not enough time to get a shot on net. And the period comes to a conclusion, 5-1 in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. The score is lopsided. That second period was not a lopsided period at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And we thought Binghamton would come back and play much better hockey. They did.
Yep.
Really all the way through. Their forwards were better. They were better defensively. And Joe Shepard gave them some really good goaltending there in the second period. But, you know, if you're the Hat-Tricks, you built up a nice lead and you're running it back here. You know, it was 1-1 in the second period, but it's 5-1 overall. So Danbury's doing what they need to do. I thought they still had a good period, too. It was a much better period for Binghamton, but it was still a very good period for Danbury. They can feel real good about it as they head into the dressing room. They'll have 49 seconds worth of the power play left when we start period number 3.
Stephen Leonard with the goal, and that really set up by a magnificent feed by Dustin Gesso. Mark that down at the 4:38 mark of the frame. That's one of the plays of the year in the FPHL. In Game 3, what an unbelievable play by Dustin Gesso to set up and make that pass and make that play. Like
Absolutely.
He made that goal. It was paid off and really sung by Stephen Leonard, but the hit was written by Gesso.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to put it. I mean, Gesso, you know, he made a good 3, 4, 5 moves before he passed it to Leonard on the right wing, and it just a gaping cage to shoot it into. We should point out the last player off the bench and off the ice into the dressing room for Danbury was Johnny Ruiz.
Yep.
As soon as the period ended, his teammates went out onto the ice and they headed off. Johnny remained on the bench trying to stretch and work his back.
Yeah.
And then he skated hunched over towards the chute that leads to the dressing room. So we'll keep an eye on that. Certainly hope he comes out for the third period. I would think he does. But let's see how his ice time is managed and what he looks like skating in the third period.
Johnny's a remarkably tough guy. He's the captain of the team. I would be unsurprised if I'd be very surprised if he doesn't come back out. But it's 5-1. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a breather, especially with just how well Richards and Gesso are skating.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But certainly, Johnny's going to be out there if he can.
Yes.
There's no question. But if this game remains 5-1 or, Danbury adds another goal or two, if you're Billy McCreary and you got a game again tomorrow night against the same team, do you maybe cut back on Johnny's ice time? Again,
yeah,
we'll be monitoring that in the third period.
We'll take a breather, come back with more notes and observations as the third period will begin here at the Danbury Ice Arena. 5-1 in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks over the Binghamton Black Bears here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks official Third period, close to getting underway between the Danbury Hat-Tricks and the Binghamton Black Bears. Welcome aboard here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Chris Lynch and Jim Cerny on the call with you here this evening. And Jim, a tale of two periods, really, for the Hat-Tricks. A dominant, overwhelming first period and a middle-of-the-road second period. So you're just hoping it's not further regression here in the third.
Yeah, and listen, I still think that Danbury had a good period in the second period.
That's fine.
There was nothing egregious, that I saw, take place there.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you saw more of is that Binghamton asserted themselves and played a better period. They had to play a better period than they did in the first period. So I think it's more that than the other. Certainly Danbury wants a nice, strong finish to this one. A win's a win, but, you'd like to really polish this one off and have a really impressive win because that's the way it started off. And, you don't want any, I don't know that I believe in carryover to the next night anyway, but, if Binghamton has a really strong third period, even if they lose, is there a carryover into tomorrow night? Quite possibly. If you're Danbury, you just want to nip that in the bud.
Yes.
If possible, maybe get a quick one early here and just put this thing to bed. That's what you want to do, if you're the Hat-Tricks tonight.
Very quick note. We'll take a look at the scores around the league. Motor City leads Port Huron 6-2 in that matchup. We're at 2-0 as I believe the third period's just getting underway between Watertown and Elmira. All the way up in Watertown in the northernmost of North Country. In Delaware, we're tied up at 1 apiece between the Thunderbirds and the Thunder. It's a very electric showing going on down there. And what I think is maybe the biggest surprise score of the night, the Mississippi Seawolves, the new expansion teams, up 3-0 on the Columbus River Dragons. It might just be that Mississippi is that good this year.
Yeah, it appears that way. Certainly the big win last weekend against Binghamton. Now beating another good team tonight, up 3-0 on Columbus. Of course, the team that knocked the Hat-Tricks out of the playoffs in the semifinals last year.
Yep.
And then went to the final and ended up losing to Watertown. So, it says a lot of good things about Mississippi. It's a tough thing to do. It doesn't matter what level of competition or, what sport we're talking about. It is not easy to be put together a really good expansion team, but it appears they have done that down in Mississippi.
Danbury did that when they jumped back into the FPHL
Absolutely.
in the 2019-2020 season, denied the opportunity to try and see that through into the postseason. There's always been some sort of unfinished business feeling. By the way, the puck is down. We are underway here in the third period. And these guys, there's a bit less of that this season because there is much more of a sense of there's some unfinished business from last postseason. Not against Binghamton. There's hard feelings towards them in some cases, but just hearty competition between the two of them, I'd say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're right. It's a little bit of a different theme this year. Last year, it was absolutely about unfinished business. But now a lot of those guys have moved on. They took their whack at it last season. They fell short. And, a bunch of those guys have retired and aren't here anymore. And now it's building, a new team. Yeah. Some guys that are back, Johnny Ruiz and Gordy Bonnell at the heart of it.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's a different theme. It's a different feel and a different vibe this season.
Aaron Atwell's still in the organization. He was a regional scout up in Ontario, seeking out any good players up in the, let's be frank, hockey richest province in the Dominion of Canada, and also really the hockey hotbed of the whole sport. This will be flipped into neutral territory. Mock couldn't quite control it. Patrick's trying to deny Binghamton entry. Brian Wilson still in net, has saved 16 of 17 shots faced this evening. Pretty good performance. The one goal.
Yeah, I think he's done very well.
Yeah, the one goal was just a great roof job.
Absolutely. Nothing he could have done on that one. I think when called upon, I think he's been pretty sharp tonight.
There's going to be games where Danbury gets outshot. Mark with a chance and denied. That's a good setup. And Pamaleon has been willing to go into the dirty areas of the rink, and he's not a terribly big guy, but he plays a fearless game.
Absolutely. And they have a few guys like that. Evan Lugo goes to the net. He's not a big guy. Tristan Mock, as you mentioned, Pamaleon, as you talked about, all of those guys are not the biggest, but they go to the dirty areas.
To the circle, Lugo drops it. Gonzalez wants to put it on net. That's off the side of the cage. Big hit thrown by Dowler.
There's a surprise.
Well, it's a couple of hat tricks who you could have said that about, who have been willing to throw the body around.
Evan Lugo just got clipped in the face with the stick, and he is seeing if the chicklets are all still in place.
There have been a couple of times where the sticks have come up really for both sides. Circle shot, sails it over the crossbar. That's a good attack for Binghamton. Austin Thompson has looked pretty good since coming back in. He hasn't shown much effects of the hard hit that he took.
Right. He's been quiet, though, in his opportunities. That was his best one right there.
Cuts it on towards the middle. Not really there. Regains the line. Leonard looks at circle. Ripper. Save made. Good play by Shepard in net.
And we should make a point here as we're 3:11 into the third period. Johnny Ruiz did not come out of the dressing room with the team.
That's a pretty big deal.
So that is a big storyline here. Now, it could be, as you said, maybe Billy said, hey, listen, we're up 5-1. We got this, Johnny. Put some heat and ice, work your back here. No need to stress about it. Or, he's really not feeling well.
Yeah.
And there might be something going on there with the back that's a little bit more than just, hey, sit out the third period and come back tomorrow. I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
There's a good reason why Johnny Ruiz wears the C, as one of the most deserving captains. I'd argue in really all of professional hockey with how much he means to his outfit in the Danbury Hat-Tricks. And to keep him off the ice, you got to know that some tough force, either Billy McCreary or an injury, is the only reason he's not out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, we won't be able to get word to the fans about Johnny's condition right now.
Yeah.
But certainly, we'll have all the latest tomorrow night, 7 o'clock puck drop here at Danbury Arena.
Brendan Sheehan came up with the loose puck. Yeah, with a long pass. It's tipped in by Tristan Mock into the Binghamton end of the ice. Tries to shovel it along the sides of the boards and cleared all the way to Danbury territory. Gonzalez retreats. The Chino Hills, California native. Gains the line, looks for it, shot, save made. That kind of handcuffed Shepard, but still came up with it.
I think Shepard's done a really good job since coming in. He certainly has stabilized things. The team is stabilized in front of him.
Yes. He looks much more confident in net. And really, I wonder if it's just the first couple of shots that went in for Liskowitz. I don't think he's going to have many games like that.
No. He looked rattled. There was no question about it. Because even saves he was making, he was barely making them.
That's right.
At least in the early going of that first period.
Because that whole sequence of the fight and then the building is shaking, and then the goal and the loud response.
Yeah, well, not only that, but 2 goals in a minute 37.
Yep.
As well. It was boom, boom, Richards and Gesso.
Couple of nice opportunities for Binghamton. They skitter one across the goal mouth and send one wide to the right of the post. Black Bears retreating to their own end. Gathers, whacked at by Pamaleon. Knocks it down to himself. Trying to take on a couple of defenders. Will shunt this into the corner. Overran this. Centerson looking to go and run this on forward is Anderson. Takes some punishment. Thrown across. Wanted. Jurich behind him. Emil Amesbury, we haven't seen much of him. Shot save made by Wilson. Just out there trying to clear the puck out. 14:28, the time remaining here in the third period. We'll take a breather, come back in a little bit with the remainder of the frame here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel from the heart of Hat City, USA.
Todd Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Danbury, is the premier automobile partner in the Danbury area. Located on Newtown Road, the Bennett family has been putting the community behind the wheel for over 35 years. Dream big, drive a Maserati or Alfa Romeo. New and pre-owned vehicles available. Let Todd Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Danbury be your choice.
Cordy Bennell tries to get this through neutral ice. Pass a little bit too long ahead for Luke Richards, and that is going to be an icing. Danbury has to play more defense.
So you made a good observation there right before the break, saying, now Amesbury getting a shift. That is his first shift since the fight.
Yeah.
Which was 5 seconds into the game. So it's been a lot of sitting for Daniel Amesbury. But now, hat-tricks are down a man. They're down Johnny Ruiz. So Amesbury getting a shift here early in the third period.
I was going to say, no Johnny out there. You have to give everybody a shift just because your other guys are going to get exhausted.
Absolutely. And we've seen now a little bit of mixing and matching lines. We see Leonard and Bennell are out there, but now Richards is out with them.
Leonard to Bennell. Shot save made. Operation Get Gordy a goal. Still working on it. That's a good chance and a good setup by Leonard. Knockaway Park, New York native. Good look. Good ripper. 13:33 remaining. Shots are 40-19 for the hometown hat tricks. Danbury has doubled up the guests from Binghamton. Yao takes a good long whack at it, puts it on the stick of Gesso, chips it through. Sheehan going to take on a couple of defenders. Brendan Sheehan out in front. Puck runs away from him. Couldn't really control it back to his forehand. That's through Tristan Mock, and Binghamton gets a break. To the circle. Cuts through. Save made by Wilson. That's a good save after you ole a defender, and after, to be fair, after it takes a hard bounce on you.
Yeah, and it's, it got through Mock there, and it set up a good opportunity for the Black Bears. What I like about Wilson tonight, and this is when he's at his best, he's a big guy, and he looks huge in the net when he's positionally sound, and that's the way he's been so far tonight. Yeah, you haven't seen him diving all over, because he hasn't had to. He's been in solid positioning throughout this game. He looks real good.
By the way, the Delaware-Carolina game is 1-1 going into an overtime period.
That would constitute a surprise.
Delaware bringing their better game. They got outshot 9-2 in the period by Carolina. That's an offsides. Danbury a little bit too quick. And here we go. Another fisticuffs right at the blue line.
Kodiak White Duck
trading a couple of nice punches and takes the dive and tumbles down to the ice. Winner of the brawl goes to number 7 of the visitors, Mac Lewis from Uxbridge, Ontario. Another good fisticuffs. And really a couple of wonderful blows landed by White Duck in that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a give and take. I don't know what set that up. I didn't see anything that happened beforehand. Something must have. But I didn't see it. All of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see gloves flying up in the air.
Yeah, it came from nowhere. We were thinking we were just going to go to a face-off, and then no punches.
That is the 4th fight of this game.
I'm surprised it hasn't felt like that fierce or that violent a game compared to what we expected. Like, this has been relatively cordial, and there's still been 8 different guys who've dropped the mitts. It's not the same guys over and over who are fighting. It's multiple different guys who are getting in on the fun.
It's true, and you're right. It has not been a chippy game. I wouldn't call it overly physical. No, but it was physical early on, and that's kind of that aspect of it is kind of slowed down. But it hasn't been chippy. But yet still we've got 4 fights, and Danbury's about to go to a power play because right as I say that, Cordy Bennell crosses the blue line and gets slashed.
Yeah. That's pretty immediate. That's, again, there's never a good time to take a penalty, but for Binghamton, every penalty that you take, it's just not a smart play to end up taking it. Gavin Yates, the Plymouth Mass native, will go off to the bench.
And Yates is chirping at somebody on the hat trick, saying, I mean, Johnny McDonald was there, but I didn't see that Johnny was involved in the play.
Gonzalez there as well. Also chirping. It's another 2-minute minor. And one thing that's worth noting, the hat tricks power play has been cold.
Yep, 0 for 3 so far tonight.
Part of that is also Binghamton's penalty kill has been very, very good so far this evening. Leonard will walk this on, look for somewhere to go with it. Pass a little bit awry, trying to put it on the stick of Gonzalez. Gonzalez holds it. The line extended. They'll swap spots, receives it back, circle. Wants to center it. They're on a cross. Snuck underneath the awaiting stick of Johnny McDonald. Puck gloved down by Sheehan. In his first professional game, a couple of points so far here tonight. Down to the right circle. We're announcing the fighting majors kept on the stick of Sheehan. The right side looks. Moves and moves. Played out into neutral territory. McDonald will just retreat. And we'll start over. Sits at the center ice logo. Leonard forward. Richards. Luke Richards, a wonderful first period. Has cooled down since.
Well, he's had some good opportunities, so.
Shot save made. That's a good glove hand save by Shepard.
Yeah, he goes, he drops down on those shots that, look to be about chest level. He drops down and actually catches them like eye level, getting his glove up as he goes down. That's without a doubt, his consistent style. As Richard skates to the bench, his stick was broken, so he's looking for a new one.
That's why the delay. Tristan Mock coming over to actually get him a stick. He's got it now.
That is a team guy right there. Of course, Tristan Mock, I shouldn't say of course, but Tristan Mock and Luke Richards are roommates. And it was Mock who assisted on Richards' first pro goal last Saturday.
Going to help their boys out. Shot wide and over the crossbar and off the end glass. This will skitter out to neutral territory. Yao on top of it, coming up on 11 minutes left to go in regulation time. 5-1 in favor of the home team. Hat-tricks. Yao with a save. Nifty glove hand by Shepard on a bomb by Jared Yao.
Yeah, it's a good save for sure. Goes into the splits, gloves it down. I like Jared Yao. He does not hesitate cranking up that shot.
No.
And he's got a good one, too.
Yes, he does. He knows exactly what he's looking for. He's only 1 point coming into this game tonight, but man, that guy is going to figure into some real serious offense down the stretch of this season. 15 seconds left to go on the power play, and this would be the only thing of slight concern for the Hat-tricks, as Yao trading blows behind the play. So the Hat-tricks have gotten up. The one bit of concern is the Danbury power play has not been that great. Couple of really nice looks and good chances, but no capitalization on it. But Sirius last weekend followed the same play, as the power play has expired, and we've got a man down just as soon as the penalty expired. Luke Richards tumbles into the posts.
Well, not just into the post. Luke Richards ended up at the back of the net.
Jeez.
And I thought we would see a penalty, but no penalty is called.
That's a little surprising.
Yeah. Again, I'll be honest, I didn't see if he was touched or if he was just stumbling forward or what made him end up at the back of the net. And I don't see Richards complaining. And I do see several Black Bears chirping away at Richards and at some of the other hat-trick players. So, may not be a chippy game. Doesn't mean these guys like each other.
Just wait till tomorrow night. Gordy Bonnell was having a chat with the officials after the play, just trying to make sure that we're all clear and on the same page. Wilson will send this one high. Out to neutralize. Lugo in pursuit. Not there for it. Binghamton would have been offsides if they would have played it. Tristan Mock looks to go. 10 minutes left to go here in the third and final period of regulation. Mock's backhander finds its way wide, and Lugo not there in time to knock it down. Huge hit over the middle Daniel Amesbury throws a huge check, and he's going to go.
Yeah, he and Schultz are going to have their second fight of the game. Big collision along the red line.
My goodness.
And Schultz immediately challenged Amesbury.
That's an enormous check thrown. Gavin Yates down. Amesbury is going to go off. And this building really doesn't quite know how to react, actually. Because you had the hit, you had the fight, and now the trainer's out attending to Yates.
Oh, yeah, well, Yates went down. It was heavy. I mean, it was really heavy.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, the Black Bears are really angry. Jurich has gone to the hat-trick penalty box.
He's still banging at the sack.
Jurich is furious.
He's trying to go.
Amesbury, but it's White Duck who's actually screaming back at Jurich. And listen, you hate to see this.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, Yates really looks out of it as he's being helped off the ice, and you do not like to see this.
No. That's a good thing from the Danbury fans, as they're going to give him a round of applause, and also Amesbury going off to the locker room. That's probably going to be a misconduct.
Well, we'll see. It could be, I don't want to speculate. I'm not sure. It could be a charging penalty. We'll see what the call is going to be. But right now, the big concern is the injury or the potential injury on the ice. And boy, Jurich is beside himself. I mean, it was a rock-hard collision.
Yeah. Daniel
and then Schultz stepped in, and he and Amesbury went for the second time tonight.
Amesbury is a solid, strong individual.
He is, for sure. Now we'll suss out the penalties here and see exactly how it gets doled out to Amesbury. The two referees are still discussing it, so I guess we can take a break here with 9:47 to go.
Exactly the right time to do so. 5-1 in favor of the Hat-Tricks here on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel. Back in a little bit.
Well, Chris, Dr. Matt Hartsburg is an official member of the Danbury Hat-Tricks medical team. Hartsburg Chiropractic is cutting-edge chiropractic care right here in your backyard. Check out Hartsburg Chiropractic, easy for me to say, and get on the road to a pain-free hockey season. We should also point out that Coca-Cola is the official beverage right here at Danbury Arena. Our Coke makes you smile. And they are still sorting out the penalties, and there is still some jawing along the red line between the Black Bears and the Hat-Tricks. And you, being the eagle eye that you are, found a certain somebody standing on top of the bench in a suit, not in uniform for Danbury.
The captain of the Danbury Hat-Tricks, Johnny Ruiz, standing on the bench. He's also listed, it's worth noting, Billy McCreary told me to list him as a player assistant coach.
Yeah.
He's going to transition. He's unbelievable working around players. He's going to transition into that type of game, and he's one of those type of guys that you want to work with players. There is a big amount of deliberation going on right in front of the bench. Our scorekeeper, Drake Cloud, was out there as well, still standing out there on the ice. You can see him at the very top of your screen. He's discussing with Leonard, came over to have a chat as well.
Yeah, well, I think speaking for the officials is Andre. He told Steve Leonard, I guess, what the penalties are. I don't know why the officials aren't doing that.
Yeah.
And
they're doing so right now.
And boy, the referee just said something to Binghamton, and that has infuriated Jacob Walters. He started screaming back at the official.
I mean,
I don't know what they're upset about.
I'm not sure exactly what else you could assess to the Hat-Tricks, as Andrew Whalen has just glided over to the bench. Somebody does have to serve the actual time that Amesbury would have been in the box. So Whalen is going to go over, and he's going to sit joining his friend in the box. White Duck. Right? He's still serving his fighting major as well.
Yeah. And now, even the goalie, Joe Shepard, has come out now. And he's come out to the blue line, and he's talking to one of the referees. I really don't understand right now what the delay is. You make the call. You make your decision. Well, so...
By the way, Binghamton just sent Michael Marchand into the box as well.
So that could be... Schultz might have gotten an instigator minor.
Yes, he did.
Right?
So, yes, that's Jurich who Jurich got a 2-minute minor.
Now, let me look on the bench here to see if Jurich is even there.
It's only a 2-minute minor. I'm not sure why he would have gotten.
Well, he could have gotten a misconduct as well. I mean, he lost it.
Yep.
And then was inciting, the Danbury White Duck in the penalty box.
In fact, he ran over and he banged on the glass as well. As a big part of that whole scrum.
So 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and then a 3-minute power play for Binghamton.
With no opportunity for the Hat-Tricks to get out of jail early.
Yeah, not on the Amesbury major, no.
Which, by the way, it is a full 5-minute major that has been served to Amesbury. Weaving and looking and shooting. Save made. Loose puck. Gathered up and carried out of play by Jesse Anderson. Lost it for a moment. Keeps it on his stick. Winds up, shoots it. Wilson with the save. Tumbling behind the net. Carried over by Sheehan. Gesso. Hit hard into the glass. Sheehan follows up and does likewise. Gesso tumbles down to the ice, and he's hit. Back the other way for Binghamton, sliding across. That's a great effort for Dowler. Good news, Gesso is back up on his feet and moving. Gesso to the blue line. Looks to take it in front. Oh, it just missed the post on the attempt by Sheehan. Boy, the official goes down too. Everybody's tumbling here. Pushing and shoving still, and the play's still going. Binghamton on the attack. Wonderful knife move and shot by Voshkin. That's nearly a wicked highlight play. Here's Lugo cutting across. Lost the puck. Looks for somewhere to go with it. Binghamton will go back and forth. We've had some really fast players. We've got 25 seconds left. 26 seconds as play is going to stop on the 4-on-4. This is the fun that you can have with more open ice. There's a lot more space that can open up.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, everybody out there right now on both sides is really playing with their head up. Because clearly the Black Bears are angry. They're playing angry. They're you see the yelling back and forth. And then Danbury's trying to play it physical as well.
Yeah.
Everybody's had their head up in this last sequence.
And it's not just physical play either. The goalies had to make some good saves. Huge hit over the middle. Pamaleon goes down. They try feeding it across. No whistle.
So I watched that whole instance. Kirkby tried to draw the penalty there on Pamaleon.
Tumbling down. The officials are going to let that one go as well as Dowler tumbled 2-on-2 for Binghamton. Late player joining in is Kirkby. Couple of checks thrown. Kirkby to the circle. Up top, walks in the slot. Save made by Wilson on his blocker. Up top by Yarwood. Hit. And running on with it is Marchand. It is a 10-minute misconduct and an ejection against Amesbury as they're announcing the penalties right now. Kirkby shot. Save made. Loose. Run across the goal mouth. And somehow that didn't go down. That's a remarkably good fortunate bounce for the hat-tricks that did not follow through.
And I was right. It was an instigating penalty against Schultz.
That's the 2-minute misconduct, or the 2-minute penalty.
The extra 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So Schultz got he got a lot.
Yeah.
He got a 2, a 5, a 10, and a game.
Jeez. Amesbury got the 5 in a game as well. Great cut. Drop pass. Shot. Save. It's by Wilson. And it kissed off the post as well. Danbury hurls the puck down to the opposite end of the rink. 1:40 left to go on the major penalty. Andrew Whalen, a meaningful defenseman for the hat-tricks, is sitting in the box right now. Couple of good checks thrown. Cuts his way, and we got another fight. We have another fight right behind the Danbury net, landing the big blow to take him down. Ivashkin throwing. Leonard wants to go at Abbott as well.
Was that Ivashkin?
I thought it was.
No, I'm not saying. I couldn't tell who it was. Yeah,
I think it was. I said him.
That second fight today for Ivashkin.
And he's willing to go, and he traded blows with his numerical counterpart, Johnny McDonald. These are very crowded penalty boxes.
Yeah, you just hope that things don't get crazy tomorrow night.
Yep.
Back-to-back games, got guys hurt on both sides. You just hope that it's played under control, and because these are two extremely talented teams,
By the way, Kodiak White Duck and Mac Lewis's fighting majors have ended, so they have gone back to their respective benches. The officials have summoned Gordy Bunnell and Jesse Anderson to explain to them the penalty situations and also probably to give them a bit of a warning to...
I was going to say, I agree with you on the second part, because the official doesn't look like he's just explaining. It looks like he's...
No.
Hey, boys, let's go. Enough of this.
Abe, knock it off, boys.
Yep.
And there's probably going to be some discussions about this game as everything winds down. 6:12 left to go here in the third. 5-1. All of the goals came in the first half of the game, right before the midway point of the second period. The third has been an endless parade of penalties to the box.
Yep, it has. Billy McCreary just had a conversation as well with the officials.
4 guys in suits for the hat-tricks. One of them started in uniform as Johnny Ruiz is now taking up an active bit of coaching work.
Yeah, or getting on the official. It was one or the other. And Bill McCreary actually says, relax, Johnny, I got this.
Tyler Noseworthy, the assistant coach and head of the NA3 team, stepped up as well and told him to ease up a little bit because they're going to need him tomorrow night. The puck is down. Binghamton keeps it at their blue line. We had noted earlier on in the evening that it hadn't felt like an out-of-control physical game.
Yeah.
So much for that.
Yeah.
They're announcing the 5-minute fighting penalties. So find its way down low. 55 seconds left to go on the remaining Amesbury major penalty, which Whalen is serving in the box. Bunnell goes down. Blocked shot. Good block by Yao. And Gordy Bunnell has taken an awful lot of punishment in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, he went down hard there, and then Jared Yao with the block shot. Puck went up into the netting, and goalie Brian Wilson tapping his stick on the ice in appreciation.
Yep. Draw one by Richards.
Good draw and good clear by Dowler.
Tristan Mock in pursuit as well. That's good to see that he's
got some motor there.
Yeah.
Right? He just keeps going like the Energizer Bunny.
Johnstown, Pennsylvania native. Such hustle out of him. There's under 30 seconds left to go on this 5-minute major against Amesbury. 20 seconds left.
Yeah, so officially the major penalty was a 5-minute major for charging.
Mm-hmm.
So he did get the charging, then the fighting penalty, misconduct in a game.
Yep. Final couple of seconds, burn their way down.
And that's a real good kill there.
Yeah. The power play hasn't been that exciting or hasn't capitalized that much. They've won a couple of good looks. It's not fair to say that it hasn't at least gotten some chances.
Well, for both teams, they're both 0 for 4 tonight.
Binghamton looking for another goal, cuts it in the middle. Good save by Wilson. Back come the hat-tricks. Gesso over the blue line to the circle, cuts it to the middle, shoots it. That's directed wide to the right, and Binghamton will try and repay them. Charging on forward, Marchand. That shot will go wide to the opposite side. Never really goes on net. Loose puck. It's gathered up and played by Stephen Leonard. Drop down, Lugo. Trying to muscle his way forward. Didn't have the room to do so. And he'll play it behind. We're now under 4 minutes to go in regulation time. 5-1. We've got a man down and a panned up for a penalty. Loose puck right in front of the goal. And, oh boy, Richards is writhing in pain. And another scrum in front of a net. Richards getting up to his feet. He took a hit. And by the way, the fighting major against Schultz has come to a conclusion, so he's out of the box as well.
Ah, man, you hate to see this. And, just as we hated to see Yates go off the ice.
Yep.
Luke Richards, the rookie who's had such a great start to the season, not putting any weight on his right leg as he is helped off the ice. And he's sitting at the end of the bench. He didn't go to the dressing room. It's going to be a war of attrition right now, Chris, because the hat-tricks are already down 2 skaters.
Yep.
Amesbury's done for the night. Ruiz is done for the night. And Billy McCreary wants to know, is that a double minor or is that a major? I think it's more of the double minor, I would think.
Leonard is being assessed a 2-minute penalty as well. They just put that up on the board too. And yeah, Leonard is sitting in the box right now.
Well, who knows? He could have said something or, I'm not sure where that all came together, but we have our final media timeout here with 3:46 to go. Hat-tricks leading 5-1, a wild finish to say the least. We'll be right back.
3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go. 2-minute matching minors is the ruling coming out of the last media timeout. Chris Lynch, Jim Cerny on the call for you here this evening for what's been two different games. A skill game with a little bit of physicality in the first big chunk of it, and then a war of attrition between two teams that really have it out for each other. We're waiting for the officials. Ready to the circle and tipped out to neutral territory. Stick down by Yao. It's a high-sticking minor going against Jacob Walters, who is sitting in the box. So that's been the way that this third period has gone. A relatively clean first couple of frames, and then a avalanche of penalties here in the third and final stanza of regulation time. Runs on, shot, save made. That's a great attack by Brendan Dowler. He's had a solid game, as this is going to be icing. Really a wonderful, wonderful game that Dowler has had, even though it doesn't show up on the score sheet anywhere.
No, it's true. He's done it at both ends of the ice. He's been physical, played well defensively. He's he's generated offense like he did just there.
Yep.
I mean, this is what he's done in all three games so far. I'm very impressed.
He's really performed wonderfully well. Picked up by out of the University of Southern Maine up in Portland, as this is going to sit right on the red line. Schultz will send this one up the left side, looking for somewhere to go. Goes to the circle, cuts it, keeps it on his backhand. Lost his glove, did Jesse Anderson. Gala will look. This is knocked down by Dowler. 2-on-1 opportunity. Here comes Gesso skating with Lugo. Gesso poked off. That's a good diving effort by Schultz. Danbury can't keep this in the attacking end. We're now under 2 minutes to play in regulation time, and we're back to 5-on-5 with the minor penalties expiring. Another chance for Lugo. This will be cut around. Still hacking. 1:30 left. Kyle Gonzalez, forward. Gesso. Shields the puck well. Still stays with it. It's a lot of work to try and keep that puck. Gets it back in neutral territory. Has had the puck for a big chunk of this game. White Duck leaves it in the defensive end. Binghamton. Last minute of regulation time. And everyone here in the building just feels exhausted, it feels like.
Yeah.
Abbott shot, save made by Wilson. And that's probably one of your biggest takeaways that you'll have, is that you can absolutely trust Brian Wilson.
Yeah. He was hardly tested in the first period. He faced only 3 shots. Dominant first period for Danbury. And since then, Wilson's been really, really good. Like I said before, he's making it look easy because he's so well positioned on the shots that he's been facing. Very, very strong effort from Brian Wilson tonight.
A fan favorite from last year's team, making his first appearance and start of the season. Puck skitters out to neutral territory. Sheehan runs this down. Sheehan shoots it. Blocker save. And Shepard has been very good in net for Binghamton.
Yes.
Settled down a chaotic first period. I would be unsurprised if he gets the twine again tomorrow.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. We're on the same page. I'd expect him to start tomorrow.
Pamaleon will just handle it. He'll keep it skating. Pamaleon winds up, shoots, save made. That'll stop the clock with 8.8 seconds remaining. That's the 48th shot of the game. And look at this. Luke Richards is going back out on the ice. That's a good sight to see.
That's a really good sign.
They'll welcome anybody getting the opportunity to see Richards out there on the ice, as he'll take the presumably final face-off of the evening. Binghamton will come away with it They'll send it out to neutral territory, and that is that. The Danbury Hat-Tricks win a wild one here at the Danbury Ice Arena. 5-1 is the final. And this game felt like two halves. The first half, where all of the scoring happened, and then the third period, where all of the fights happened.
Yeah, not all the fights, but yeah,
Many of them.
a lot of them, and certainly it got, the intensity, the physicality, the fights, everything picked up here in the third period. And you just got to wonder how it carries over to tomorrow. And, obviously, you hope for the best for Gavin Yates.
Yep.
You hope that he's okay. He did not look great skating off the ice, but hopefully, he's doing okay. Hopefully Johnny Ruiz, the back will be okay tomorrow. That's a big one as well for the Hat-Tricks. It's going to be a battle tomorrow night. I'm telling you that right now.
That's
the intensity level will be off the charts.
That's probably a bit of an understatement. These teams tore each other apart over the course of this evening. A wide array of penalties, a couple of ejections on both sides of the evening, unsportsmanlike conduct called against Tyler Jurek.
Yep.
It's been Daniel Amesbury with the charging and the fight in the first couple of minutes, the first 5 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
And then immediately some offense. Let's very quickly give you the 3 stars of the evening. They're all from Danbury. They are number 3, Evan Lugo, number 2, Luke Richards, and number 1, Dustin Gesso. And really, these 3 guys, the offensive drivers. With all the physicality, I feel bad because it's kind of taken away from the brilliant hockey game that those guys had.
Yeah, absolutely. And how about Dustin Gesso? We got 3 stars. He's been either number 1 or number 2 in each of the first 3 games so far this season. He rings up another huge game. A goal and 3 assists, a 4-point effort tonight, coming on the heels of a 6-point night, coming off, 2 goals on opening night. I mean, 12 points in the first 3 games. And how about this? Evan Lugo introduced as the number 3 star of the game. So who comes out? Gordy Bell. That's great. Somebody shoved Gordy from behind and forced him out onto the ice. That is good stuff. And it's a win. At the end of the night, a good win against a good opponent, and Danbury remains unbeaten through the first 3 games of the season. They are perfect 3-0-0.
For Dustin Gesso, it's 5 goals and 7 assists for 12 points in 3 games.
Well, he's just averaging 4 points a game, that's all. Averaging 4 a game.
Casual.
That's all.
Like it's just a fun thing to do on a Friday night.
Yeah.
For him, it is.
It is. So, hey, I'm just going to follow up my 6-point night with a 4-point night. Why not?
Wow. A wild night here at the Danbury Ice Arena. We'll be right back here tomorrow to do it all over again. 7 p.m. puck drop. It's a busy weekend here at the Danbury Ice Arena. The NAHL team played here at 3:30 against the Maine Nordiques. Jim Cerny had the broadcast call on that one. I had the public address call on that one.
Yes, you did.
I'll be doing the play-by-play for the NA game tomorrow as the Nordiques finish up their series with the Hat-Tricks. The NA3 team is going to be here on Sunday, and of course, Saturday night, 7 p.m., at the Halloween costume contest, where there's still time to go and register for complimentary tickets on the Danbury Hat-Tricks website. You want to go in and register for an opportunity to win some cool prizes and show your Halloween spirit in whatever creative costume that you so desire, that you want to come out and enjoy yourself here at the Danbury Ice Arena.
I think I'm going to try and come tomorrow as a broadcaster. It's something that may be outside my phone, but I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to try and do that tomorrow.
Somebody once suggested I dress up as a Yankees fan. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Red Sox fan. I don't think I could ever do that. I'm very sorry, folks. That's that. I don't think that's a fun night here at the Danbury Ice Arena. We'll be back here tomorrow, 7 p.m. puck drop for tomorrow's matchup between the Black Bears and the Hat-Tricks. For my partner in crime, Jim Cerny, And all of our crew who made it happen here tonight at the Danbury Ice Arena, I'm Chris Lynch saying so long. Once more, 5-1 the final. Hat tricks getting the victory.